Hello and welcome to the Simple Prepper. I'm having to change out my rear AC blower motor and my 2017 Dodge Grand Caravan. Yes, everything's housed to get to it. That is, the whole AC unit and ductwork goes behind this rear right interior quarter panel. And then where we're going to have to start, we're going to have to start with the rear trim work up top, because the plastic goes underneath. There's a little, it's hard to see with dark color here. There's a little tab right here. You can get it. There it goes under the car. I'll get it in a minute. Let's see. So it's right there, and a Phillips screwdriver's used for that. And then you have to get the lower trim piece up too. It clips underneath this but overlaps it with part of it. So yeah, you gotta pop that off. And best tool for that is one of the trim removal tools. You can get them at the auto stores. But use that, pop this up, pop that out. Other people said you can leave this rear seat belt for the center seat belt. You can push it through the hole for it, but I'm just going to drop this panel down and out of the way to the left. If it doesn't come out easy, no biggie. But then you need, for right here, you're going to need a, let's see, I think that's 15/16. Yes, no, 13/16. 13/16 socket for this nut that it's almost a collared nut. It goes back in there a bit. And then you need a T50, nice security T50s for the front seat belt nut. And of course, they're on there tight. You need to tighten them tight for safety. And that will get those two seat belts out of the way. Once you get this cover off that goes over the rear speaker here, it will allow you to get the seat belt out of the way with a slot that's in the main panel that this little cover covers up that view. You'll be able to see it in a little bit as I do it. And then behind it, there's evidently two Phillips screws. And on the air duct work, to get the motor out, you need it's either a T20 or T25. This one guy in a video stipulated T25 at the beginning of the video, then later said it was T20, but he didn't say, he was correcting. So I'm not sure if he was just misspeaking at one part and didn't edit. Nevertheless, here we go. I'm going to go ahead and start the work on getting the covers off. I'm going to have to reposition the camera in a cradle or in a tripod back here. All right. these little push retainer plastic that you definitely need this tool for. So I'm going to put it with the other one where those other two screws are. It goes up back in the niche of the fly window at the back to hold this panel. And there's a second one up there. Yeah, that's a little, I don't know, luggage tie down or something for the back here to help. You can put bungee cords or other things across here. That's what that was for. Now the rest of it, I think, is just pop, little push-in pops. Yeah, one thing I forgot to say. That sliding door, doorstep trim, it needs to pop up. The front part of that. All right. So hopefully you can see what's going on right there. You got your fan, the one which mine is going bad. It's got 3 screws on the back side first. You got to pull this cover out, pull up, and then down. The foam rubber seal goes up. This one covers over this housing. So I can put that out of the way. And it is a little dusty back here. You know, it sees a lot of air. And evidently draws in air for recycle, I suppose. Or for vent. Yeah. Just right here. So vent really only comes from outside on the front one. And it pushes back into the rest of the unit while this still does recycle of the air. It's the only fan. Well, only fan for the rear AC. You got the cooling, I believe, heater core in this module, or the heater core parts down lower. This all plugs into here. All right. I always wondered about vent routing on these. Sorry, I really had to open the garage door and people door. It's just getting too warm in here. Got a slight breeze. It's late at night, so early in the morning, really. So it's a bit humid too. But I need to do one thing. I need to start the car real quick and just double check what this fan is doing before I move everything there. So, one moment. Okay. Now the fan's blowing when it wasn't before. Oh yeah, it's cooling too, right out of here. At least I got a breeze through here because of the exhaust of the car. Why is it working now? It wasn't before. Okay, that's strange. I'm gonna change it anyway since I got the new one. All I got was a click, 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 and it sounded like maybe the squirrel cage was barely starting to move. I wonder if some of these wires had to be moved around because oxidation on the contacts of electrical plugs. I don't know. Okay, I got on vent. I'm gonna see what it does on recycle, or it seems like it's pulling air. Still pulling air from right here. So your rear AC is always on recycle, unless it's pulling it out of something behind the cover on the body, which I just don't see. That's good enough. Okay. One thing, other fellow YouTuber, he may have said it, but I don't remember hearing it. On the tools needed was a 10 millimeter. There's two 10 millimeter bolts. One goes right here, and the other one's here. They're sort of almost white with all the dust, but they're silver color and white oxidation. Um, so, yeah, silver color is just very light because of dust. One there, one there. Let me double check. Okay. Yeah. Just a little stub. Almost looks threaded. Sticks out over there underneath that wiring right there. That sticks out and just a hole, a little hole is in the plastic that goes over it. It's just a stay. It's not a tight fastened place. And one and two. Okay, so something sticks down in the body here, right down here. They're showing to pull this whole bit out. So I'm trying to get that work loose. Okay, I'll work on this. I'm gonna pause it. I got it loosened up a bit where I can get to these screws back there, but it's gonna be tight. Down there at the bottom, down here, there's, I think, the cooling lines to the evaporator inside the evaporator core. These other hoses underneath this floor vent, those are for heat lines. They're getting hot as the engine warmed up. So one was not cold and one was not hot. They were, yeah, they're both hot. So it's definitely not the coolant lines. I mean, they're the engine coolant lines, but not the Freon line. I believe the Freon lines come up down here. It gives you a little room to mess with it. And you can push it back down when you're done, bolt it back in. But it does give a little bit of flexibility, but not a lot. So you don't want to bend that too much, I don't think. And it's hard to see from underneath because you got the muffler right there in your way. What a place for coolant lines, huh? Yeah. Here we go. You said T20 on the back of these. Let's see. Let me feel. There's 3 bolts back here. I think he's right. T25 was for the others. Okay. I'm going to get a T20 here. I don't lose my 25. There. This one. And get my clip light out a little better if I can. There we go. There's a little plug for a harness for the fan motor. There, I just unplugged it. That way you're not running into problems moving around when you're getting the last bolt out and pull it out. Underneath, we're going to pull this little wire stay out of the way. Okay, I'll have to do a quick pause. Alright, time to unbox the new one. I pulled the old one out, went ahead and got this. That third one was down low, underneath, behind everything. And yeah, the wire stay must be on the housing. Okay, so we got the motor. It turns, but there's stiffness in it. That may be when it was in there and all together why it had no motion, just some click, 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 you know, just it wasn't turning, wasn't blowing. Sorry for a second here. Just gotta get my knife out. Get styrofoam in there, and it was a little stiff, but new bearings, and the bearings sound good. I'm sure they'll loosen up through initial wear. No paperwork inside with it, if I can see. I've got a holder for the squirrel cage on it, but nope. Yeah. And this one turns pretty easy, but It does have stiffness that causes it to stop. So it could just be the field windings and the way they interact with the magnets. Put that in the new one's box. I guess it's got a little balancing clip on it. Make sure that squirrel cage is balanced, because it has extra weight on one side. Okay. Oh, very similar looking squirrel cage. I'm going to get that lower screw in there first. Oh, it's a hard one to get to. Unless you're looking right at them, it's hard to line up those different T-designated sockets and screwdrivers. It's not like putting a socket on top of a bolt head. No. All right, time to start the car up again. Went ahead and put the new one in. You can see it's got the white squirrel cage, the black squirrel cage, but so you can see it hopefully from this angle. It's in there. I went ahead, put the two bolts into the body that hold that housing to the side, and looks like I'm gonna have to stuff this foam back up underneath here. There we go. It helps keep, I guess, vibration and something off this little electronic module that's underneath the bottom of it. So I want to start it up. Okay, it's blowing good. I'll make sure all the seals where the fan motor went in, all that's sealed up, not blowing out any air, so you don't have any cavitation, less force through everything else. I have it on up position for the upper vents as opposed to floor on the floor. It's on high. It's blowing pretty nice. All right. I think we got this one ready to go back together. Remember, okay, I put this vent back on. This goes against those stays on the little holes there. It doesn't really have anything to hold it in. Except for the foam pad, insulated pad on the inside of the interior cover. So I'm going to put this on up first. So I found out there's this little bit of space that's by the speaker and where the panel goes back in. And all this gap right here, that's where your recycle air comes through the speaker cover, the panel for the speaker, and goes down and in there, because you got a lot of seal around all this. Gotta get this back underneath the rear hatchback door seal. I'm gonna have to pull some of this door seal off. Got that screw hole right there for that little luggage strap. Oh, that little loop that goes right there. And you got this part that comes up here. Put the other panels back on. Lower snaps into place. So I got to shoehorn it in too. That's in. Now we gotta get the upper one back in. Gotta get this door seal on the outside of it. There we go. Now I gotta get these little screws way up in there and then put the covers back on. Now I gotta put that door step back in on the far side. All right. It's all working. So the blower motor's working. I got air coming out. Oh. Well worth it doing it myself. Probably saved about $400 or $500 doing it myself. But I do need to fix something. And if they busted up those plastic things, yeah, they probably would have been liable for it. But it's old. They probably can say, well, if that happens, you're going to need one of these. So they could probably try to charge me for it too. On that armrest, I'm just going to put some screws in the side to help hold it in place, and plastic style screws meant for plastic. So I'll put some of those in, and it'll help hold it down till I have to, if I ever have to get back in there, at least I know what's going on. But everything will be hinged down and held together well. All right, cleanup time. I can turn everything off. So yeah, with everything buttoned back up and the fan turns on, I don't know why. The old one, it wouldn't come on when everything is buttoned back up there. Then when I took the interior covers off to get to it, give it a try to take a look, it moved. It blew. And strong too. So, I don't know, intermittent problem, getting in and out of it, maybe helped out. And on the new motor, I'm not sure if you can see this right here. There's a gap on the stock OEM manufacturer fan right there between the housing and the plug. There's a little, I don't know, little piece that came off the plug that pushed out towards the housing. And the new one, the plug part is right up against the housing. And there's no room for that little lip on the plug, so I had to cut that little lip off the plug for it to go in. The rest of it's designed to go in there. Everything's right except for that little lip. That's the only thing I didn't really tell you in the middle of the video. So hope that helps out. You might have to do a little trim on the plug from the wiring harness itself for it to fit in right. But other than that, they should line up. I'm happy as long as I get air in the back. So that's the end of this one. You know, part of not just prepping, do it yourselves, DIY, and how-tos so you can DIY. It's part of the game. So part of a good thing about prepping is being able to prep to be able to try to do some of your own work. If you're apt mechanically or electromechanically, that's the thing to do. I really hope some of this helps you with seeing what to do to get in the back of this. Some of the other videos pretty good about showing it. But you do need both the T20 and T25. The T25 for a little hook if you have this little luggage hook on the side down there. I'm not sure. There we go. That right there. This little hook. So it helps hold things if you got straps with hooks to hold things down. It's like a luggage stay for putting stuff in the back. And this is a Grand Caravan GT model. It has the driver comfort package with the digital thermostatic control in the front. But just like the SXTs, has the rear control with the knobs. So you can override that and lock it out on the front. So people can't turn the thermostat different, or if they moved it one way, you can change it back to another if they're sitting in back and they get out. But it looks like I can put seats back up and clean this puppy up for driving more Uber rides. At least I got AC in the back for my customers. So y'all have a great week, and we'll talk to you soon.